Get ready with me while I tell you how me and my friend got grounded for the whole summer. Keep in mind, this all happened like a month ago, right before school ended. So it is technically still pretty recent. It all started, me and my friend were gonna go to a friend's house and it was just gonna be us four girls. We realized later in the day at school though that the parents weren't gonna be home. We were like, okay, so that might be an issue. But we still tried to have a sleepover, but our parents found out and they thought it was really fishy because they thought we were gonna have like a party or something, or have like boys over or like something. Our parents picked us up. I went to my sister's house and my friend went to her grandma's house. My parents were going out of town, so my friend just didn't want to be home. And we got the idea, we were like, if we're in trouble separately, why not be in trouble together? So my first bad decision was deciding to Uber to my friend's grandma's house. My mom did know about that. She was fine with it. Like, we're chill. We're just gonna hang out with Mimi. But no. Me and my friend had other plans in mind. Later that night, we were at her grandma's house and we thought it was a great idea once her grandparents fell asleep to sneak out. But no, it was not the move. It was not the move. The friend's house that we were going to was actually a guy's house, but it was not a party, not a function. It was not like that. It was just like a get together. And so we Ubered at like 9 o'clock. 2 of the Ubers did cancel, so like the money went back into my account. We were over there for like maybe a few hours, and then his sister's friend drove us home. And we got back in through her grandparents' basement. We were like, okay, hey, look, Mom, I made it. Little did we know. Went to sleep safe and sound at her grandparents' house that night. We were like, okay, we're locked. And we were at church the next morning, and my mom texted me, and she was like,
did you make some returns? Like, why are there charges going back into your account?
And I was like, oh my gosh, the Uber charges that didn't go through, the money is coming back. And I was like, oh, she can definitely see it's from Uber. So I told her one was from my Uber from getting to my sister's house to her grandparents' house, and the other one was like an E-Newton return. Oh, it was not. So me and my friend, no one found out for like a week, and we were like, okay, same time next weekend? No. It got back to the school called my parents. I got in such big trouble, and now I can't do anything for the rest of the summer. Keep in mind, this is a PSA, so you don't do what I did. I do not recommend this at all. Please don't do what I did. Save yourself some trouble. Like, keep your freedom. Keep your parents trusting you. And I'm a good kid. Like, I don't do stuff like this. So this was my first real, like, mess up. Kids make mistakes, but that's still not an excuse for my actions. It was not my brightest idea. I would not do it again. I've learned my lesson. But since my viewers are younger, I just want to say, like, please don't do this. Like, don't do it. Every part of me regrets it, and I would not do it again. The little moment was like not worth it. And yeah, people always find out. Your parents always find out, and I just had to learn the hard way. That's it. Love you guys. Peace, y'all.
Get ready with me while I tell you guys about my 25-year-old manager that groomed me when I was 16. So when I turned 16, I got a job at my local Burger King that's literally right down the street from my house. If you guys know me in real life, then you know which Burger King I'm talking about. It's literally the one everyone goes to. When I started working there, my manager, he was one of the assistant managers, Anthony, that was his name, Anthony Hively. Yep, I still remember it. He took, I could say, like, a special liking towards me. Like, genuinely, he would start messaging me outside of work and, you know, trying to get me to come in early before he gets off so he could see me. And he would word it as if, like, I was just this good employee, and I took a liking to that. You know, I'm like, oh my god, my parents are abusing me at home, and then this man is giving me attention. Yay. Well, we start texting almost daily, right? I'm about 3 months into working at Burger King, and we start texting daily, and he's telling me, like, we give each other these nicknames, Sherlock and Holmes. So, like, we put that in our phones. So at work, if people were to look at our phones and we were texting each other, so they wouldn't know that we were texting each other. It was, yeah. Looking back, I'm like, what the fuck? And mind you, at home, I was not enjoying life. Like, I hated my home life. My stepdad was awful towards me. And who would I rant to? I would rant to Anthony. I would always be like, oh my god, like, my parents this, my parents that. And that's when the FaceTime calls started after work. So I had high school, obviously. I was a freshman in high school, and I would be working closing shifts, so like from 4 p.m. to like 11:30 at night. So Anthony and I would close together, and he'd be like, call me when you get home, like all this stuff. My mom was still picking me up from work and driving me because I had just turned 16. I did not have a license. Anyways, I would call him, and obviously I would rant to him about my parents, and I would tell him how much my home life sucked. And that's when he started telling me, like, you're this special girl, like, who wouldn't want your presence, like, around them, all this stuff. And that's when I literally started liking this man. Like, I thought we were gonna get married. Like, I am literally like getting secondhand embarrassment from myself on this. Anyways, that fast forwards into us technically having like a secret relationship. So basically he was like calling himself my boyfriend, and I was like, oh, I'm your girlfriend. And then he would tell me like, you know, if anyone ever finds out about this, I'm gonna be in real big trouble. Yeah, I was 16, you were 25. So basically we're in this like secret relationship that only we know about, and you know, we're being so secretive, all this stuff. One night I'm at work and he texts me, he goes, I'm about to like pull up, go do the trash run right now. So I'm like, trash run? Like, okay, like it's dark out, mind you, our trash was in the back, and you know, there's a gate to get in the trash, so it was kind of spooky. Anyways, I take out the trash and he's waiting for me like in between the gates. As I toss the trash, he grabs my waist, he starts making out with me, and then he starts shoving his hand down my pants. And I'm literally like trying to pull it out. I'm like, no, like, no, like, no. Like, I was telling him, I'm like, not right now, not right now. What if someone sees? But in the moment, I was genuinely terrified. At that time, I thought it was normal, and I thought like I was getting something out of it. But no, baby, you're getting groomed. Another situation that I had was when I was getting french fries out of the freezer, and this man followed me in there, and we made out in the freezer, in our Burger King freezer, while our coworkers were literally like outside. And I let it all happen. Basically, this continued for like a couple months, and we would have a closing shift together, and he would sit behind me while I was washing the dishes, and afterwards we would FaceTime, and he would tell me like, you looked so good, like I just couldn't control myself when you were washing the dishes. Yeah, so we just have this like ongoing secret relationship that we're just not telling anyone about. And you know, I even bought him a birthday present. I bought him this like sweatshirt with a rose on it. If you're watching this, I know you saw that shit. But yeah, it was honestly insane looking back on it, but I thought I was in love. I thought I was going to marry this man. I thought we were going to have kids. He told me when I turned 18 that he was going to have me move in with him because of like my whole parental situation. But I ended up quitting Burger King. And you know, we lost contact, whatever. And on my 18th birthday, I wake up and guess who texted me? It said, hey, how you been? I don't have the number saved. I don't know who that is. So I respond with, who's this? He responds with, Anthony. At that point, I was genuinely like, wow, that's insane. So I ended up like responding back like, oh, haha. And then he's like, how you been, this and that. And then I sent him a bunch of pictures of me and my current boyfriend, and I said, I've never been like better. And then he said, that's great to hear. And then like I never responded. And then we had one of our like friends pass that we used to work with, so we're in contact a little bit, like maybe a year ago, but that's the last I've heard from him. There was also another instance of when I was at work and he wasn't at work. I get a text saying, go to the bathroom. We all know what the go to the bathroom text means. So what do? I go to the bathroom and he sends me his yeah, and he would also do it while we were on FaceTime together. Yeah, and he actually pressured me into sending him my first ever nude. But yeah, that is my little story time. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'm sure there are a lot of girls that were my age that experienced the same thing. You guys are not alone, and yeah, it's not your fault.
My school ended up calling CPS on my mom. Grab your chips, snack, drinks, because this is going to be a good story time. Now, this does take place back when I was in 7th grade, so it's been like years. My mom did not allow me to date. Even though I had a phone, I was talking to a boy, even though I was not allowed to date. So my mom tells me to always put my phone in her room around 9 or 10, right? And mind you, I think this was a Friday or a Saturday. I'm not 100% sure, but it was like towards the weekend already. Obviously, I delete all the messages that I had with the guy because I did not want my mom to see it, because occasionally my mom would check my phone. But this time I forgot to delete the messages. And obviously she went through it and she found out that I was talking to a boy. So obviously she told me, you're not going to be using your phone anymore for the rest of the weekend. You're only going to use it for school, and that is it. I'm being, how can I say, not a good kid. I was not a good kid, okay? I was telling her like, oh, well, I'm already grown. I should have a boyfriend already. I don't know why you're telling me no. Yes, that was very bad on my part. Skip to Monday, trying to convince her on the way to school so I could have my phone for like after school. So not just use it for school, but also use it after school. And obviously she said, no, I already told you no, you're only going to use it for school, and that is it. For any emergency, I guess. I did not like that. So I got really mad, disrespectful with her, and I started raising my voice. I said, well, I'm gonna have a boyfriend. If I want a boyfriend, you can't tell me no. So my mom, I guess in the heat of the moment, she gave me a smack in the mouth. And it wasn't like a bad smack in the mouth. It was just like a little like that. And obviously like I was talking and then my lip hit like my teeth, and then obviously I started bleeding. Mind you, we had uniforms, okay? I was in 7th grade, and guess the color of the damn uniforms were? White. It was either white or baby blue. You could wear either or, and I was wearing white that day. And I remember obviously like I am bleeding out of my mouth. My mom is literally turning right to drop me off to school. I'm over here like crying, and then obviously like I get off of the car. Blood is on my sweater, okay? There's literally blood on my sweater. And at the entrance, there was 3 doors. Obviously you could go through any 3, but they had 2 teachers on each door. And obviously walking in, they see me and they see all the blood. And they're like, oh my God, are you okay? And obviously I'm in 7th grade. I don't really know anything better. So I said, no, my mom hit me. Obviously, the teacher that I was talking to, she said, okay, well, that's not good. You need to go talk to your counselor. And she immediately took me to see the counselor. The school ended up calling the police, and they had 2 police officers come in. It was a woman and a man. They told me to explain what had happened. I just said, oh, we just got in an argument. They're telling me, hey, that's not okay. We're gonna have to take some pictures. So they took pictures of my lip, which it had like a cut like right here. They told me that they were gonna have someone, I guess the program, which is CPS,
go to your house. I didn't know what CPS was, okay? So all I said was like, oh, okay, that's fine. And obviously, since they have my information, they have where I lived and everything. That same day, my mom ended up calling me, and she was already like all good. Like if nothing happened that morning, she was like, oh, hey, you want to go eat after you come home, because I took the bus. And she was like, do you want to go out to eat? Like, we'll buy you your favorite food or whatever. And I guess that's just the way that Mexican parents apologize. It's with food. So I was like, oh, yeah. And then I told them, like, oh, yeah, by the way, like, there was some officers, they saw me bleeding, and they called CPS. She was just like, why would you do that? You were not supposed to say anything. And then I told her, well, what was I supposed to do? Like, they saw blood on my clothes and then just asked me. And she was like, well, you could have just said something else. Why did I have to say that? And I guess she started to explain to me what CPS was. My dad was also on the phone, so they were already kind of like cussing me out without the cuss words. They were just like, why would you do that? Like, just wait till you get home, we're gonna talk about this and stuff like that. Yeah, I was scared shitless to go home. Eventually got home, and my mom was telling me, like, I guess explaining to me more of what CPS was. And she was like, oh, well, your brothers, if they come and they see that something's wrong, that they're gonna take you and your brothers, like, I'm not gonna be with y'all anymore. And obviously that's when I'm starting to feel like, oh my god, what did I do? CPS lady ended up coming a couple days later, and obviously she was actually a really nice lady, super nice lady. But she just came a couple times to the house to see if like we were okay. She ended up pulling my brothers aside, like each of us. She pulled me and my two brothers like separately to talk to them separately and to see if there was something that I guess my parents were doing to us. So that lady ended up talking to her mom like, hey, like, if you ever, if they ever disrespectful, just give them a smack in the butt, and that is it. Like, don't do nothing to the face, nothing of that. Like, you shouldn't even be doing that in the first place. And obviously my mom's like, yes, like, I understand. It was the heat of the moment, and she has never laid a hand on me like that ever again. I was a very bad child. Literally, like, very early teens. I was super bad, and I have another story of when I sneaked out, but that's for another time. But yeah, the school called CPS on my mom, but that's the story. What do you think? I already know. I can already hear the comments like, you were bad. Yep, I was a really bad child, and I know that, and I have apologized for that to my mother. But other than that, that is the story time for today.
Hey guys. Okay, so basically, I posted a video about me getting kicked out, and a couple of you guys wanted a story time, so we're gonna get to that. Basically, and before to ease everyone's nerves, I did in fact move out of my dad's house for sure, but I am staying at my grandparents' house with just my mom because she lives here too. So all is well. I do have a roof over my head, and I just appreciate you guys so much for being so nice to me because it was freaking insane. Okay, how this started. Basically, I have had a dash cam in my car ever since I got into my first car accident, which is totally understandable. Like, it actually does help a lot. My dad was the one who implemented it, and I had a little bit of concern. I was like, okay, so there's a I just don't do well with it. I take my privacy very seriously, so I'm like, okay, so who's gonna have, like, are you gonna be able to see it whenever? Like, do you have to take the SIM card out? Like, you know what I mean? Like, the kind of dealio with that, just question. Basically, he said it was specifically used for crashes, like, or if something happens to my car, like, I asked him literally if it was recording. He's like, oh no, the audio doesn't work. Missed me with the BS. I believed it. So, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, like, I take full responsibility, and honestly, I'm quite embarrassed of it, but at the same time, I'm 17 years old, and, I'm a teenager, so I really don't need to explain that deep into it. But, yeah, I do go to parties, I drink, I smoke, I do stuff, I have fun, I don't know. And yes, I talk with my friends about it in my car, because they're my best friends, we share everything. Guys have been in my car, okay, like, I'm living life. And basically, long story short, I got home last night, and my dad was acting kind of weird, and I was like, I'm just tired, like, I'm just going to go to bed, like, and mind you, before this, he has had, like, kind of concerns that I was, which I was, okay? He's a parent, I understand that, like, I can't blame him at the end of the day, like, he's my dad. But I was stupid. Not stupid, I outsmarted them, and basically, they gave me a drug test. They're like, you're gonna take this, and I was like, Basically, long story short, I peed in it, I didn't clear it, so I photoshopped a picture of it, and I made it say that I was clean. Anyways, getting into today, sorry, that was a lot of backstory, but this morning, I'm sleeping in my bed, and my dad swings my door open, my mom comes in, mind you, my mom doesn't even live here, okay, like, why are you in my house? Love her, though. And she screams at me, and she's like, wake up, and I was like, no, yeah, I'm sad. And, she basically was like, tell me about that pee test, and I immediately knew, okay, I literally was like, I faked it, and yes, I did, and she was like, yeah, I know, and I was like, how do you know? And as I was saying that, my dad comes in and plays the recording of me telling my friend, like, oh yeah, I faked it, like, da-da-da-da-da, and I was like, oh, so mind you, at this point, I'm like, he knows everything, like, but he does, because I've had that into my car for months now, and now he has the power to literally listen to every single conversation I've ever had in my car. So yeah, I did get caught for a lot of things, actually, and in that moment, also backstory, but I don't want to get too deep into it, I don't have a great relationship with my dad. I love him, like, with all my heart. I feel like there's a difference between loving and liking a family member, and unfortunately, I don't very much like my dad. I love him, though, and I had a lot of built-up anger, and, like, I was holding grudges like crazy, like, I'm not even gonna lie to you. So while my mom was yelling at me, I'm taking it like a champ, okay? Like, she is my mom, she has every right to be mad at me. Like, I was sneaking around, I was hiding stuff, okay? Like, I understand that. So I was very much taking it. I was like, you know what? You're so freaking right. My dad talks. That should be enough. My dad spoke. JK. No, but he said something, and I just couldn't take it serious. I literally was like, okay. And I broke. I'm not gonna lie to you. I bawled my eyes out, and I literally was like, I just hate you. I said it to my dad. Hate me all you want, but it happened. I literally told my dad I hate him. I was like, I hate you, and you make me hate myself, and I don't know how I live here. And he was like, okay, then move. And I was like, no, yeah, I will. And there's more deep. It was more deep. It wasn't so cut clean, but there was a lot of going into it. Like, I said a lot. He said a lot to me, and I was like, you know what? And I looked at my mom, and she agreed with me. We packed all my stuff, and so yeah, now I'm here, and I love it. I appreciate everything, like, my family members are doing for me. I so deeply miss my house. My dogs are there. No, but don't worry about my dogs, because I'm picking them up by Saturday. But yeah, tonight, my dad did try and take my car. He texted me saying, just to let you know, I'm picking up my car, you know why. So I was like, okay. So I hid my car at my sister's house, and it's like lodged between two other cars, so he can't pick it up because that's my freaking car, and I have work and I have responsibilities I actually have to do. So yeah, so thank you guys so much. I'm sorry this was literally 4 or 5 minutes long, because I've never done anything like that, and I just talk a lot. So love you, divas. Peace out. Live your life to the freaking fullest, dude. Just freaking do it.